Good morning, children. Today onwards, we will be taking your textbook lessons. So, first take your content page and mark the chapters which are all included for physics. Chapter number 13, 14, 15, 4 and 8. These 5 chapters are for your physics. You just put the letter P near the name of the chapter in the content page. Okay. Today we are going to see chapter number 13, Motion and Time. In grade 6, you learnt about what is motion and the types of motion also. Now we are going to see another new one called as time with respect to motion. This will be dealing with your basics class also. We learnt about speed and velocity in basics class. Do you remember, my dear children? Yes, that is what is dealt in this chapter. Let us see everything in detail step by step. Yeah. So, in grade 6, we have learnt about motion. Motion means movement of objects. When any object is in the rest position and if it is disturbed and if it is made to be moved, if it is in the moving condition, then it is called as motion. Example, a desk which is lying on the floor will be in the rest position. If I go and drag it, I am disturbing its rest position and the desk will be moved. So that is called as motion. When an object is moved from one position to another position, it shows me the motion. Also, we learnt about the types of motion: linear motion, circular motion and periodic motion. Linear motion means the objects will move in the straight line. Circular motion means they follow the circular path. Periodic means the same type or the same pattern of motion will be repeated at regular intervals. Examples: soldiers in a march past. They move in a straight line. So what is the type of motion, my dear children? Yes, it is linear motion. Motion of a swing. It keeps on repeating the same pattern, to and fro, front and back. That kind of same pattern is repeated again and again means then it is your periodic motion. Merry-go-round. Merry-go-round, the children play in the park. There you have the merry-go-round. The merry-go-round rotates in the circular path. So that will be considered as an example for circular motion. Okay, my dear children. So now you know what is meant by motion. It means that the object is moving. Now tell me, how do I know whether the object is moving fast or slow? How is it possible for me to judge that? When I compare with the another one. Yes, if you are all running in the ground in a race, I will be having a stopwatch with me and I will be counting the seconds. Who comes the first and then who comes the second. I will compare your fastness in running as well as the person coming along with you in the race. So whenever I do the comparing of your speed with the other one's speed in a race, I will determine who is coming fast and who is coming slow. No, my dear children? Yes. So another example let us consider. Daily you are coming to school. Okay. So you come either by your parent or in a school van. For example, from Gobi bus stand to our school, it takes nearly 15 minutes to come. But I am traveling with my parent will reach the school first than the school van. How will I compare it there? I will compare the speed of the vehicle. If my father rides the vehicle at a speed of 40 kilometer per hour, and if the school van is running at a speed of 20 kilometer per hour, whose speed is high? 40 kilometer per hour is high. So I am coming with my father in the speed of 40 kilometer per hour will reach the school first than the school van. Yes, no, my dear children. So for a period of 15 minutes, I have compared the speed of the vehicles to tell who comes fast and who comes slow. So I know that in both the cases also they are traveling. There is a movement, but I am determining it with respect to the time. 40 kilometer per hour I will travel soon, and at the speed of 20 kilometer per hour I will be late to the school. I am determining the speed of the vehicle and I am comparing it. Okay, my dear children. So now today we are going to see about speed only. That is what our heading of the chapter tells, motion and time. It means I will compare the motion of an object with respect to time. Now in basics class we have learned the formula for speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. No, my dear children, do you remember the formula? Yes. Speed is equal to distance by time. So distance is nothing but showing the movement of the object. Whenever an object is moved from one position to another position, then that is my motion. No, my dear children. Okay. So when it is transforming from one position to another position, it gives me motion. But during that, it also covers a distance. So where there is distance, there will be motion. So only I am considering distance. Now, if I compare the distance required by the object to show the motion with respect to time, then that will be my speed. Okay, time. What is time? The sunrise tells us that it is morning. The sunset tells us that it is evening. 7 days in a week tells us that it is a week. 30 days becomes a month. 365 days becomes a year. 24 hours becomes a day. So we calculate our days and months in terms of time. So similarly, time is used to determine the object is moving slow or fast. So, time can be in terms of second, minute, hour, day, week, year. Okay, my dear children, it has so many units. But what is the SI unit of time? Second. This we have learnt already. So, whenever I compare the motion of an object with respect to time, I repeat it again in another sentence in another way, that whenever there is motion, there is a distance covered. If I compare the distance covered by the object to show the motion with respect to time, I determine a new quantity called as speed to tell whether the object moves slow or fast. Okay, my dear children. Now, let us derive the unit of speed. Speed in the sense it is always for your motion. So, distance is covered in kilometers. In your roadways, are we covering the distance in centimeters and meters, my dear children? No, it is in kilometers or miles. So I will consider the unit of kilometer for the distance and in hours for time. Though there are many other units to measure distance and time, I will consider kilometer for distance and hour for time as the standard unit, and that is the SI unit of speed as kilometer per hour. Okay, my dear children? Yes. Okay, my dear children. Next, we are going to see another device called as speedometer. Have you noticed this picture somewhere in your vehicles? Yes, that is your speedometer indicating the speed at which the vehicle is ridden. Now, the speedometer will give you the speed of the vehicle in kilometer per hour. The readings in the speedometer like 20, 40, 60, 80, all these things are your speed in which the vehicle is traveling. Okay. In the speedometer, you have a box like this where the numerical values will be changing like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and after each kilometer you cross, the reading gets changed. That is called as your odometer. The entire setup determining the speed in which your vehicle is running is called as speedometer. But the box which keeps on changing, covering the distance in kilometers by your vehicle is odometer. So speedometer means speed coverage. Odometer means distance covered by the vehicle in kilometers. It will give the reading only in for your kilometer. For each and every kilometer you come across, the reading gets automatically changed. That reading box alone is called as odometer, and the entire setup having a needle determining the speed in which the vehicle is traveling in kilometer per hour is called as speedometer. These are the two devices present in your vehicle. I repeat again, speedometer is a reading which will have a needle pointing out the speed of the vehicles in kilometer per hour, whereas odometer is just a indicator for the distance covered in kilometer. Okay, my dear children. Now we learned the formula that speed is equal to distance by time and it is measured in kilometer per hour. Now if any two quantities are known and if I ask you to find the third one, can you be able to find out? Okay. So, if I know the speed and time and if I ask you to calculate the distance, then the formula will be changed as distance is equal to the time goes here and it will be speed into time. Can I write like that, my dear children? Okay. The next thing, if distance and speed is known and if I ask you to write the time, how will the formula change? Time is equal to distance by speed. These are all nothing but just the transformation of the quantities in order to find out the unknown one. Here I know speed and distance and the unknown one is time. So the time goes here and speed comes here, thereby changing the formula as time is equal to distance by speed. If I wanted to calculate the distance is already here, the time will go here so that it becomes as speed into time. Just a transformation in the same one main formula. I have calculated another two formulas. Okay, my dear children? Let us stop with this for today's class. Based upon these three formulas, I have given you some sums. Solve that as your homework. The remaining will continue in the next class. Thank you, my dear children.